Hey everybody, Nick McNaboe, M&M Bay Area Compass team, together with Mike Milano. We provide access to community leaders. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Greg Rickman Leadership Coaching. And Greg, thank you so much for meeting me today in our Zoom environment, which we are all getting so comfortable with. How's your morning? How's everything going? How's life occurring for you?
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you, and thank you for the opportunity. Life is good. I can't complain, and if I did, nobody'd listen. So happy to be here.
That's fantastic. Well, Greg, we've got a quick segment here, and we'd like to just kind of hear a little bit about the value you're adding to the community and, I mean, our civilization as a whole. I mean, we just had a great conversation about your business and the difference between just overall life coaching and kind of what you do, which is executive coaching. And I've gotten a great value from it already in the quick 5-minute segment. If you want to describe kind of your niche in this executive coaching and leadership coaching space, please.
Sure.
Take the floor.
Yeah. So leadership coaching or executive coaching for me is really defined by two different parameters. One, it's the people whom I coach typically are executives in a corporate setting. They can be leaders in an educational setting or even a governmental setting, but people who lead other people and who are in leadership positions of institutions, mainly for-profit corporate settings. The other thing is the scope or the domain of the topics we discuss. Typically, people come to coaching for two broad bucket reasons. Either they're trying to create something and they know that they need to go through a personal transformation or evolution to cause that, or there's something they want to change. And change could come across a wide variety of discrete topics, but typically it's people problems, profit problems, or conflict resolution, team problems. And so mainly I coach clients, executives, the CEOs and the C-suites, or C-1, the SVPs, or the C-2, the EVPs. And we talk about whatever they want to talk about to create whatever outcomes they're trying to create or change whatever it is they're trying to change.
That's fantastic. I mean, we talked briefly. I mean, I was an accountant before I became a realtor, and graduating college with a degree in accounting put me into a space where I just was like, okay, I got my degree in accounting. I have all these student loans. So easiest way for me to make money would be to follow that lead. And it just left me feeling unsatisfied. I know you said you offer some opportunities for people that reach out to you. Do you want to just talk about some of those opportunities and what we discussed before kind of in that space about how accounting led to a little bit of upset? And for me, that was super helpful. I'd love to hear it from you again.
Sure. So there's 3 different things I'll mention. And the first is going to be kind of a demonstration of a lot of what happens in coaching. I'll bring a framework or a way of looking at a particular situation to hopefully generate insights or shine lights on blind spots that then give us new possible actions to take to cause the outcomes we want to create. One of the frameworks I shared with you earlier today was what I would call essence, form, and purpose. Those are 3 distinctions, and I'll describe them incredibly briefly. This would be a much longer conversation in a normal session, but for this purpose, the essence, everybody has an essence. And in this context, what I mean by essence is it's simply a way of being, a natural way of being that requires no effort or thought on your part. You don't struggle or strive to be your essence. You just are. So when you're being you, that's your essence. And it adds value to people. So let me give you some examples. There's a couple of different generic essences. One is what I call big-hearted. Some people are just naturally big-hearted. They're kind, they're thoughtful, they're conscientious, they're compassionate and empathetic. They don't strive and struggle at it. It's just who they naturally are. And of course, people get value from that. Other people have an essence of what I call comedy or humor. They're just funny. The way they see the world, they make sense and meaning of the world, the way they speak. It's just natural who they are. They can't help it. And yet people get value from it, right? So we all have different pieces of essence. On the other end of the spectrum in this diagram is what I call purpose. And purpose is very straightforward. It's the outcomes we're trying to cause, the things we're trying to create, the circumstances we're trying to make be that way. Some people's purpose is grand. It can be like, I want to solve world hunger. Other purposes are much more close to the vest. I just simply want to make enough money to have a secure lifestyle. I want to be in love. I want to have a family. I want to live in a nice home. All these different purposes, right? Things that we're trying to create. The bridge between one's essence and the purpose is what I call form. And form are the tangible, concrete ways of being in the world that constellate around a particular occupation or a particular relationship. So let me give you an example. One form is citizen. Another form would be daughter. Another form would be doctor or policeman or investment banker. And so we go through life occupying a handful of different forms that allow our essence to be fully self-expressed, but that also cause the outcomes of the purposes we care about. And that's really the magical piece of this framework, is getting crystal clarity on your pieces of essence. Who am I when I'm just being me that adds value to other people, that doesn't require effort or striving? It's just natural. And what are the outcomes I want to cause and create? And if I can get clear on those two things, then I go solve for and find the forms that I can occupy that are full natural expressions of who I am when I'm just being my best me, that cause the outcomes I care about. When you do that, you're in flow. Life is easy because literally all you got to do is show up, be you, occupy the forms that you've chosen, and then get the outcomes you're trying to create. Typically, what we do is we do one or the other. And you described in your case, coming out of college, you chose a form that aligned with your purpose. Your purpose was to make money and have a financial security, and to have a professional form that you were prepared for from college. The challenge is you fail to match that form with your essence, your natural way of being that gives you aliveness and that adds value to people, that isn't struggling and striving. It's just you being you. And so occupying the form of accountant met your need for purpose, but man, it didn't align with your essence. Then it was a struggle and a strain, and it was hard and wasn't satisfying or fulfilling.
Yeah. I mean, it was, in that quick 5-minute synopsis, I got some clarity that I haven't had before. And you offer an introductory 2-hour.
I do. Yeah, that's the way I've chosen to build my business. And one of the ways I think about it is called optimizing for serendipity. And what I mean by that is I want to have as many bites at the apple of helping people as I can, because that's going to then surface the people with whom I'm a fit and can really make a difference. The other thing is, it's kind of like business karma. If I go out and give away my best coaching as hard as I can with my full heart in 2-hour chunks to people, good things will come back to me. And I found that that's true. So that's the way I've chosen to build my business. I don't actually do a lot of marketing or outreach. My practice is built mainly by invitation and referral only. Mm-hmm. But as I said, I offer anybody on the planet who wants it 2 hours of free coaching. I'll give you my best. And basically one of three things will happen. Either we'll solve your problem together. We'll co-create solutions. You're like, great, this was awesome. I'm handled. Off you go, living a happy life. And I feel good that I got to be my best essence and occupy a form that I love. Or you might say, hey, this was really great. I enjoyed it. I don't think it's for me. I don't want to keep going, but man, I have friends and colleagues and families who would also love 2 hours of free coaching, and thus they become referral partners. Or the third thing that happens, you say, wow, this was unbelievable. I had insights I'd never seen before and breakthroughs. I want more. Sign me up. And so that's how I get clients.
That's awesome.
The other thing I want to mention, because you talked about kind of the way you think about things earlier in our conversation and kind of the meaning you make. There's two key planks in the foundation of my coaching. One is I would call emotional intelligence, and the other I would call mental hygiene. So briefly, emotional intelligence, people have a lot of different ideas of what this means. It means like 7 or 8 things to me. So if someone is emotionally intelligent, they, 1, know what an emotion is. 2, they know when they're having one. There's a self-awareness, like, oh, right, that thing called emotion is happening now for me. 3, they then have the facility to name it, like which constellation of emotions am I having? Because it's never just one, it's always a tangled mix. The 4th one would be coping skills, having the capacity to be with their own emotions and not try to repress them or suppress them or have it leak out in some sideways, sabotage, weird stuff. So being able to process and metabolize your emotions. And then 5th would be speaking my emotions, sharing with you my emotional landscape so that you can hear and understand my situation. Again, without blame or anger, I'd take responsibility, but still share skillfully my emotional landscape. The 6th one would be what I would call attunement. Being able to witness other people and read their body language, see their face, see their language, the tone, the frequency, how they're speaking, and assess their emotional landscape. Oh, I can tell they're pissed or angry or jealous or upset. And then having the mirror capacity to be with their emotions and not making it mean anything. Or, and I'll say this categorically, and it might not be fair to stereotype. Men are typically not very good at being with other people's emotions, certainly upset. It makes us upset and we freak out because someone else is having an emotional upset. And then in a leadership position, kind of the Jedi skill of emotional intelligence is being able to assess the landscape of the team, of the environment, of the organization, saying, wow, does the team need to grieve? And if so, let's have a collective grief session. Or is the team angry and scared and nervous? Great, let's bring some soothing and reassurance. Or how do I whip up motivation and inspiration about the aligned vision we're all trying to row towards? So these are kind of the elements of emotional intelligence that I would bring to a coaching session, and we would explore each one and try to build capacity and skill set and awareness in those. The other side is what I call mental hygiene. And this is what I would say is being fundamentally connected to reality. Because typically, we as humans go through life making up meaning. We interpret events and we assign them a personal value. We interpret them, have opinions and thoughts and assessments, failing to recognize that our assessments and opinions aren't reality. Those are our personal subjective idiosyncratic fiction that we make up about reality. So we got to be able to distinguish the facts from our stories about the facts. And when we do that, that gives us tremendous power.
Yeah.
And the metaphor I make it like is Neo from the Matrix. When
Yeah.
he's in the Matrix, he sees the fiction and he thinks it's real. And so he is beholden to navigating inside of that reality. Once he steps back and sees that it's made up and all that's really there are the ones and zeros, he then has the ability to manipulate that reality. He can dodge bullets and jump and do all the things. It's the same thing for us. Once we distinguish our stories and opinions and assessments about reality from reality, we then get to manipulate that and change our experience of reality. So for me, that's mental hygiene. And that combined with emotional intelligence are kind of the two biggest things that are the driving engines of causing personal growth and transformation or change in the outcomes we want to achieve in a business setting or otherwise.
Absolutely. I mean, just that session alone was worth it. And from what we're going to do is get this out to as many people as we can. I'm going to put your LinkedIn profile for people to read a little bit more about you, and then maybe reach out and engage with you and get a little bit more in depth. If this is something that sparked any one of your guys' interests, Greg's fantastic. He reached out to me. We had a back and forth, and we were both persistent. And we made this interview happen despite what's going on in our life. I mean, it's been a real pleasure. Greg, thank you so much for enlightening me today. I was not anticipating it, and I'm enriched from it. So thank you for sharing yourself with me, with us. I'm emotionally moved and touched by it, and I hope everybody else is too. I think that's all what we're all trying to navigate is our lives, and having kind of a sage like you out there, especially in the professional and executive roles, because there's a lot of stress involved and it doesn't have to be stressful.
I agree with that, Knight. Thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate your generous appreciation of me. Thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. Well, guys, if you need any assistance in the executive space or any executive leadership, I highly recommend Greg. I'm Nick McNaboe with M&M Bay Area. Thank you guys for watching. Greg, thank you. And if there's anything you guys need, you can reach out to me directly. I can put you in contact with Greg. Look forward to building this relationship. And thank you again. Thank you for watching. Take care.
Thank you.